Hi, this is Ingrid from Quiltessential Co, and we're ready to do our block of the month. This is July, and so this is the block that you're going to be making. We're using the Jaybird Sidekick ruler again, but I've made a different kind of variation. So hopefully you'll have fun. We'll get cutting on that right away. But before then, I'd like to show you this very cool quilt. It's called Dinorama T-Rex on roller skates, and it's designed by a Canadian designer, and it's put out by Art East Company. And Rebecca in our store made this, and we're really proud of it. It's a beautiful quilt, and we quilted it up on our long arm machine too. So now we're going to cut out our blocks. First of all, you're going to set them out. Make sure you know which one's which. This is A. We're going to cut 4 3.5-inch squares from A. From B and C, we're cutting out 3.5-inch strips. This is why your quick trim ruler is really useful here, because everything's 3.5. D, 1 3.5-inch square, and then from E, you've got 4 3.5-inch squares, and finally F, 4 2-inch squares. Cut that out, and I'll meet you back to sew. We're starting with all of our A blocks wrong side up. So this is the right side, this is wrong side up. And we're going to place our Jaybird Sidekick ruler so our dotted line and the 3.5 mark is right on the corner. So actually we're just cutting a little piece of this off, but here's your dotted line and it's on the top of the 3.5-inch line. So we're just going to put that down. You can stack them all and do them all at once if you wish. Make sure that dotted line is right on the corner of that block, and you're going to cut a little piece off, and you're going to have a shape just like this. So we're going to do that to all of those blocks. And now we're going to also cut our B. Now we're going to be cutting B, and B is going to be a wrong side up. So you put it on your mat, it's a 3.5-inch strip, and add your half triangle ruler on top, your half triangle shape with a 3.5-inch line, and you're going to be cutting along and rotating and cutting out your 3.5 half triangles, and you should have 4. So just do this, and then we will be starting to sew. You have your A, and now here's your B. When you put them together to sew, you want to make sure that you have your little triangle here, and you're matching your side nicely here, but you need this little triangle. And you're going to start sewing 1/4 inch and sew all the way down here. So I'm just going to go sew that, and I'll meet you right back. So now we've cut A and B, we've sewn A and B together, and I have pressed to A. Now we're going to cut C. C again is wrong side up. This time what you want to do, because we're making it different, we're going to line up our piece of fabric to a straight edge line. When we cut our half triangles, I am actually putting my straight line on the 1/4 inch, because I want this triangle to be 1/4 inch larger than it usually is. This is usual. I've moved that line over to the 1/4 inch mark. So we're going to cut this up here. And now to get another one, I'm turning again on my ruler, but I'm putting the dotted line of my ruler. The dotted line of the ruler is going to go on the edge, and that effectively gives me an extra 1/4 inch. So I'm going to go along and cut 4 of those. This one again, put it on a straight line so that I can line up my 1/4 inch and cut this, and then the dotted line, just cut this. Okay, perfect. Now I have these pieces. So these are my C pieces. I am taking my A and B that I had before, and I'm flipping it to the wrong side. And make sure that you have it this way up. You're going to have your B at the bottom like this, and in your pattern there'll be a picture that shows you that. And you are now going to be cutting a slice off with your half square end of your ruler. And you're going to put the dotted line right on the edge of your square, and you're cutting that side piece off. So it's wrong side up, dotted line only, and you're cutting your A and B. When we do this, we now have the space to add on our half triangle. And again, make sure you have a triangle here and it's all lined up. And you're going to sew down here, and I'll meet you back when it's sewn. So now we have A, B with C on the side, and I pressed it to C. So it's nice and neatly here, and we should have a 3.5 inch square. So those are all the pieces that are on our block right here. So it's going to look really cool. These ones we already have cut out. Now let's work on the center. So for our center, we are taking our D square, and we have our little F pieces. So when we add the F pieces, you've got a couple of choices. You can take a friction pen and mark on the back diagonal to diagonal on all of those squares, and then place them on and sew on those edges on that diagonal line. Or I like to use the folded corner clipper, which many of you have, because it's so fast, and it's also got the built-in line for your sewing. So you just put the 2 inch right on top of that square, cut this one off, put the one on the opposite side. You can mark it, or you can cut it with your folded corner clipper, and you cut this off, sew down here, flip those back and press, and then you do the same thing with the other two corners. So now you have folded corner clipper edges on all of these, and you've got your D surrounded by your F. Now you're going to assemble your block just the way the instructions showed you, and believe it or not, you are done. Well guys, if you found this video useful, please leave us a like and click subscribe for future content. This has been Ingrid from Quiltessential Co, and thanks for sewing with me today, and we'll see you soon.